So, Matt, we get asked a lot, what does AAI even stand for?
You know, really, when we started this company, it didn't stand for anything. When have you seen the movie War Dogs? So I know we don't give
Love the
shout outs,
movie.
but we're gonna give a shout out to War Dogs. In the movie, Jonah Hill is asked why the firm is named AEY. I believe that's the name of the company. Because, guys like, why does it sound like this? Thinking about other company names, they always have acronyms that stands for something. And I won't use the language, but Jonah Hill went off on him and just goes, spits out all the curse words and says, it just sounds cool. Just like the way it sounds cool, right? And we were looking for something that we did not want to tie it back. When we originally found this company, didn't want to tie it back to a name, to a last name or anything like that. We wanted something that stood out on its own. The running joke around the office has been that AAI stands for above average intelligence. It's just an internal joke. It's really AAI stands for nothing. But if anybody truly asks and presses, I always say that's kind of the running joke for us because really in this world to be successful, you just need to be above average intelligence and put the work in. It's intelligence and it's the work, and that's what we bring to the table here at AI. So it is it's a running joke, but it's got a little truth behind the scenes and how we do it.
I love it. So now the more interesting question is, does this firm exist at all? So just so you guys know, welcome to Advice from the Deal Room. I'm Ben Record, and this is Matt Russell. And we're going to share with you guys a little bit more of kind of our origin stories. We've gone a lot in the last 19 episodes. This is episode 20, and we really haven't told the story of how AI started. And given a little bit more of a background on both Matt and I, and we felt like it was about time. So let's kick us off, Matt. Why did you start this thing?
So I had just left, as we've talked about prior. I was in banking for years and a chief financial and chief lending officer last stop, and left there, wanted to create something for myself and my family using my skill sets, where we're located. Not many other banking jobs available for my roles. And I was like, there's something else I got to do. Not going to lie, I settled down, married a local girl, and not going anywhere. So I wanted to keep my presence here in the local area in Yakima, and decided we had a client that we used to service at the prior institution I worked at. And he came to us and goes, hey, would you like to help me get some loans? Would you help me place some loans for me with some lenders? And I'm like, you know what? That seems fun. That seems right up my alley of it's finance related. It's still in the banking sector, which I enjoy the banking sector. It's frustrating at times, but I enjoy that. And just, got to really start diving in and realize there is a need for this service out there. Because when you're diving into this, is when anybody's starting a business or a company, we're always trying to determine if there's a need, there's a supply and demand curve. Where do we meet? Where do we meet on that? Is there a demand for our service? Where's the competition at? And in the markets that we service a lot of, there's not a lot of competition, or there's really no competition at times. Then we started diving a little bit deeper. How can we do this? Where's our value add back to clients? And basically, all those years in banking, spent all those years in banking, and then going on this side, going, I can see the frustration for clients, right? I can see where the banking is one of the most frustrating things in the world in the commercial sector, and going, well, this makes sense. Like, I'm just taking to my banker, they'll get it done. And they decline you, or they run you through the rigmarole of, oh, I need this, and this, or they present it wrong to the bank, whatever it may be, and going, there's a way that we can provide a lot of value back to these clients. So we started to hone in on what we do, why we do it, what's our sole driver, our purpose for doing this. And that's kind of where AI evolved over the years, and continue to hone in our processes and try to get better at everything we do and learn from mistakes. So I just think it developed in 17. We started in 17, so we're coming up on our 9-year anniversary, and really started to get some traction in the local market, and started expanding out the local market because there was limited resources in the secondary and tertiary markets that we serve primarily. And it kind of took off on its own. And then as we're building up, the favorite thing happened. COVID happened. And most people would have looked at that and shut their doors and said, this is not going to work for us. And we took that as an opportunity to dive in deeper and assist people through the PPP, EIDL, all at no charge. I mean, legally we said you couldn't charge it, but I knew people were charging for those services. And we felt that it was in the best interest of the communities that we serve, the business community in general, to make sure they're still around when we get out of COVID, right? When businesses are back humming, we want to make sure people are there and got through there. And I want to walk through and know that businesses were still open. And so we did that and assisted so many during that time that then our business through word of mouth and this, doing these podcasts is really our first outreach into the community of what we really do. And we just started taking off and started to really hone in and develop better resources internally, better relationships out with the lenders, and started to build up what we do and how we do it and why we do it better.
It's been really fun being a part of it and watching what turned from, hey, Ben, you're going to help do loans for commercial people and help them with their investment properties, to really what we do is so much more than that, and learning that along the way. And I felt like I always aligned with why we were doing this stuff, but I didn't even fully understand what we were doing for our clients until being a couple years into it and going through some of those times where we've told clients, hey, don't get this deal. Don't go buy this property because it's not going to set you up, or don't go look at this development. Doing those things to help them for the long term has always been a part of what you've preached to me, but understanding why we do it is like I had to learn it in the middle of deals at times. My story of how I joined AAI, I was at the same credit union that Matt was at back in the day, and I was working in the marketing department. I had spent a good portion of my first year there helping do more marketing for both the commercial loans program and the mortgage loan program, and trying to kind of do more marketing for those, and sat in a lot of extraction meetings and pulling stuff out with from the different mortgage loan officers and commercial loan officers, and learned a lot about that space. And I was a business degree student, so I always loved math and finances and all that type of stuff, even though I was working in the marketing side. And so it was a good fit for me when I was there. And when I connected with Matt there, we instantly hit it off. One of my favorite memories about Matt is him walking over to my desk in the marketing department and spiking a blow-up ball that we had in our department into my coffee cup. It was not intentionally at my coffee cup, but it did spray all over. And I just remember just being like, that's my CFO, and he's still like a kid. That's someone I want to be around for a long time, because I've always said that one of the best signs of maturity is knowing when you can be a kid again. And I've always felt that with Matt. So when he was starting AI and he offered me to come make the jump, I was excited. One, because it gave me opportunity, and two, I was at the point in my career where I wanted to just go work more, and I wanted to take a little leap of faith and gamble on myself and double down on a new business and see where it goes. So yeah, I've been here since 2018, and well, it's been a ride. Matt's wasted time on lots of my shitty deals. And even my first deal, we were talking about just doing the math again of, I think my first deal I made $750 for at the end of the day. So it's not like I made a killing from it, but getting to still see that business flourish today since that loan that we were able to get him is pretty darn cool.
Got to start somewhere. And in this industry and what we do specifically, I think and what we've tried to build up over time is it's relationship driven first, advice driven, and really about the best interests of the client. And where we've seen, even in the commercial real estate brokerage market and even other mortgage brokers slash commercial mortgage brokers like us, how we see what was being missed. And we learned a lot of that from our bankers too. We get these deals in, but you do it different. And then we started to hone in and figure out what we could continue to do different and what could we continue to do better than what they would expect. And that's kind of, it's, if you look at us 9 years ago to now, completely different business than what we were to begin with. I would say even you look back 5 years to 2021, 2022, when things were going good, we're still a completely different business now. And it's the evolution and the maturation of our company over time and getting the right people in the right seats, the right, that theory is getting everybody around that is there for the mission and therefore, we don't have a mission statement. We're not that kind of hooty tooty kind of corporate world, but we are about the purpose and why we do what we do. And we have those people in our back office and in the sales side of what really matters to us and how can we do this and how can we do this better than anybody else and how can we do it more efficiently. I don't need a big team. I was never about let's build this company up and have hundreds of employees. That sounds like a headache. I want to service our clients, service a large amount of clients efficiently and effectively and give them the same advice and the same strength that's coming from me that is also coming from you is coming. And so we try to embed it into our culture here. Again, one of those hot topic words of culture. Our culture is unique. We don't have it written down anywhere, but you can feel the culture when you're here at the company of what we do and why we do it. Lydia's been with us for a year now, just over a year, beginning this month, and I've seen her maturation because she was in banking for a long time and seeing, why she joined here. And then in the first few months, it was interesting. I had to break her of the old patterns, like always asking, oh, can I reach out to this? Can I do? No, I'm like, no, that's what we should be doing. Or like, that is a good idea. Why don't you do that? Where in the banking world, it's like, no, we can't do that because of this regulation or that regulation, or that's company policy. It's like our company policy, yes, we do have to have policy manual and stuff like that, but our real company policy is take care of the client. And the client is not just our borrowing client, but it's also the lending client. Take care of this situation and do what you feel is best for all parties. And if you do that, everything else usually takes care of itself. You still got to put in the work, but you still, if you're doing it for the right reasons, it makes it a lot easier to come to work too. And so, I think some you have is not in my job vocabulary. We really don't have that here. We were a brand new company 9 years ago, and you got to think about the banking industry has been around. Some of these banks have been around for 100+ years or whatever it may be, They have their culture has been driven from that. We are in the newer age of technology and we can adapt faster, we can move faster, and we're not a big team. So something's not in our vocabulary, it does not exist here. We want to make sure that everybody's handled and everything's taken care of. So, this morning, Lydia and I drove to a client's office to make sure a few things got satisfied in a transaction that was closing today. Want to make sure it had nothing to do with us, but want to make sure that they got the credit card machine switched over into their name, into their bank account. So every transaction that went through today got settled. We want to make sure those few little details got handled for them because we want the best for our clients. And it's those little things along that way that we try to make a difference in a client's life.
Well, it's those little things that are the things that the client will end up remembering if that it goes smoothly. If you didn't do those things and it starts to go bad, the client or the other people associated with the transaction are going to start feeling like, man, AI just really didn't button this up well, or they didn't just kind of get it wrapped up right, all those type of things. It's just like you go just that little extra bit, it shows up down the road.
What we do on a small deal versus a big deal, we don't treat it any different. At the end of the day, I don't look at the numbers. I mean, I have to because I run the company, but I don't look at it in that sense and going, I want this client to be successful regardless of the size of the deal. So every little detail, regardless if it's $250,000 deal up to a $100 million deal, we take the same strategy to and the same effort and the same diligence to make sure everything's satisfied because that's our client.
So what was we've worked with lots of different types of clients. What would be kind of when it clicked of like, that's the type of client we want to keep working with? And how do we define that?
I'm going to keep it really simple. Someone who trusts me and asks for my thoughts and advice on things. This is simple as that. When I've mentioned this probably multiple podcasts, there's things I'm not good at in this world or don't have the time for, and I outsource those things. It's as simple as if you're not a mechanic, you're not going to go fix your vehicle when it needs a oil change or a tire rotation. You take it into a shop, right? You pay somebody for their skill set and services because you trust in them, you trust in their advice, you trust they're going to take care of you. Those are the clients that we say had that with us. That's my favorite client is going, man, I can just reach out to him and bounce something off the wall, just come into his office, get on the phone with him, and maybe shoot the shit for a little bit or ask some more in-depth stuff. Either way, it's not always about a transaction. It's just about, I know I can bounce something off of him. I can ask him something and go, what's your thoughts on this? That's when I know that we've found the right client. They just utilize us, not overutilizing us, but utilizing us for our skill sets, and they see the value back of what we're providing. And then we go to close a deal, and I go, oh, here's our fee. I've had a few clients say, I'm like, this is what we're charging. He's like, you've more than earned that in this transaction. Actually, I'm like, I'd love to charge you more if you want, but no, I'm not going to, because I want you to be successful. And, those things is continue to follow up with some of these clients. How's everything going? Those little touch points is really just want success for our clients. You look at financial advisors, they want their clients to be able to retire with enough money, right? We're no different in that regards. We want you to be able to be successful in your business ventures, your real estate ventures, and get towards the ultimate retirement goal and augment what your financial advisor may be, if you have one, doing on your stock portfolio and your retirement portfolio. We're there to augment that and the other avenues that they do not take care of for you. And that's just, we're there to help you get to those goals. And those clients that realize that, it makes a difference.
I just feel like it's when that client starts pivoting from looking at us purely as a commercial loan broker that's a transaction-based relationship to where they're actually looking at us as an advisor. That's where those are the clients that we want to work with. And we've had clients that were really big, wealthy clients. We've had clients that were small, just getting started, that look at it that same way. And those are the ones that I want to work with again and again and again, because I can feel that they're listening, and I can feel that my help is being used, or my advice is being used, as well as they're just appreciative to have someone in their corner when things go crazy, because there's always going to be something in a commercial deal that goes crazy.
What you're alluding to, Ben, is it's a relationship. At the end of the day, they want a solid relationship, somebody they can count on, which is what defines relationships for the most part, is somebody you trust, somebody you value, somebody you can count on to be on your side. And that is what a good, solid relationship is about. And that's really, what we're looking for, is solid relationships with our clients, with our lenders, and building up those relationships where there's somebody you see out and they're like, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a little bit. And they go up and shake your hand, give you a hug, whatever it may be, or you start to become friends with them. You maybe go out to dinner, you're shoot. They ask you for advice, but they also, I've been brought in deals with clients because I've built that solid relationship with them. They go, hey, you want to invest in this deal with me? Sweet. He's like, I trust you enough to be able to bring you into my circle of the trusting. And, we've been to weddings, we've been to not retirement parties, but anniversary celebrations. We've been through these things where our clients have invited us. And that's, to me, at the end of the day, that's what this is about. It's not about how much money I made them, how much money I made myself. At the end of the day, if I build up solid relationships, those other things are probably taken care of themselves. But I built those relationships, and my philosophy on our business and how we run the company is, if I build solid relationships with my employees, and I build solid relationships with my clients and lenders, my bucket's probably being filled, and I'm feeling satisfied that I've taken care of everything and I've built solid relationships. Because when we're 80 years old sitting in a rocking chair, that's all we have. It's not about how much money, what's the zeros behind your name. It's not about that. It's about what you can actually take care of, who have you taken care of, and who's sitting next to you, and that you can just shoot the shit with and go have a cup of coffee and go hit the golf ball or something with, because you built those relationships over the years. That's all life really is solid relationships over the years. And now that comes back to how one other thing that why I'm building this and care so much. I got young kids. I got a 14-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I want them to understand that life is more than go get a career, make money, blah, blah, blah. Go find something that fulfills you, and also go find something where you build solid relationships. Again, this comes back to why we started the company, but also where we have continued to evolve over the years. And it's a lot about relationship driven. And I want to teach my kids life is more than money. Money will happen if you put in the right effort and the right work and you make this smart decisions through your life. But you also need to worry about those relationships you build through your life, because at the end of the day, when money's wiped away, that's all you have. I don't want to build this, something I've been learning, unfortunately, through trials and tribulations in my life of where's that perfect balance? What am I trying to teach my kids? But also, I got to not just say it, I need to live it. And I'm building this so I can spend more time, spend those time where I do work for myself. If I need to get off work at 3, but I need to pick it up at 8 o'clock at night to do it, or pop in the office at 6 a.m. to make up for that time, but I had the ability to spend that relationship time with my family, that's more important to me. But I will still make sure the job gets done. I just got to shift my hours around to get it done, right? And my kids can see that in the way that the relationships we have with people when we do go out and we do go to a lot of events, or we go to get-togethers with family, friends, and they can see that, man, half these people are dad's clients, like, because we built solid relationships over the years that, yeah, we'll talk about business, but we talk about a lot of life stuff too. And just, we're on soccer teams with parents that we've done business with. And it's just like, this is what life is, and teaching my kids the strong core values of life and relationships. And for you, Ben, you got an even younger kid than me. What's this mean to you? Where's your driving come from?
Well, my drive comes from, in a lot of ways, just I was raised with a pretty heavy work ethic, but then wanting to do it in my own way, different than how my dad did it, and wanting to kind of go out in the more self-employed route and the chart my own path course a little bit, even though I'm technically working with you and I have my own other businesses and stuff too. But where I've really fallen in love is the relationship side, and teaching my daughter that I can like put in a hard day's work and still be a really good dad at the same time. And they don't have to be either or. And that's where the self-employed work has allowed me to do that, and the managing of the schedule, all of those type of things, getting to answer client phone calls while I was in the hospital with her when she was born. Like, I was still doing my work. Work kept going, and I still figured that out while still becoming a new dad and dealing with those first couple of weeks of what that was all like. She's going to be 3 in September, and I've got to take her on a couple showings as a realtor in my realtor side of things too. And so just getting to share my work with her is a big part of what I love about what I do.
Oh yeah, I mean, my youngest Boston's been to the office. She's shred papers here. Um, don't give me L&I for that. But just her being know that we got something we're building, and something I try to talk to her a lot about, because she's coming into that very influential age of stuff of, well, Daddy, what do you do? I go, well, Daddy's got to work hard for this. Here's what Daddy does. Here's what we do, and get them to understand the value of everything we do. And it's not just, again, it's like you're saying, it's not money driven. It's how do you balance life? And it's probably been my biggest challenge of that. And really, parenthood changed me, Ben, and I know it changed you a lot. Is I used to have a drive for a different reason. I wanted to do something because, dude, that's how society's driven. It's like you go build something kind of cool, go pat yourself in the back, right? And then over the years, that drive changed. And it's funny, I never really clicked onto it until like the last month or two, and going, wow, I have been doing this for different reasons. I need to change a few things in that work-life balance, because man, these kids are these kids are awesome. This is why I'm doing it. This is my drive. This is why I get up. And I was actually talking to a client yesterday. I was one of the first handful of people, actually one of the first few people outside of his family that knows he is expecting here, his first child. And he goes, I got extra drive. I got drive for a different reason. And hearing this going, I'm like, dude, when you become a dad, it is a rewarding experience. It's exhausting. I know the mothers are more exhausting for them, but it is a rewarding, and it shapes why you do things a little different, and it makes you really hone in on life and go, it is about the relationships. I'm gonna have this relationship with this kid forever, right? Until when I'm dead and gone, that's when the relationship ends. But we're gonna have a spiritual relationship at that part. But it's still, how do you do that and build that and show your kids what you're building? And that's the fun of what we do. And we're also helping people build other things like construction loans. And I like to take the kids by and say, hey, look at that. We financed that project they're building. Like, we're helping them build their dream. This is the fun of what we get to do. And it's sharing that with the kids and thinking that process through. I know it's been changing for you, and it's been really changing for me. And really, I learned a little bit later than you did, Ben, of how that changed. But because I was so driven for one way, and I was like, hold on, I can do this different. This is my driver now. And self-reflection and all those things helps you out. And at the end of the day, guys, we're here. We care about our clients. We build relationships, build a solid relationship with my staff, the people who work with me. And it's not for me, it's with me. At the end of the day, this is a team effort. We got our skill sets, and that's what matters. Ben has been great enough he's got the marketing thing. We've been pushed, doing these podcasts. It was kind of his idea. And I've been honing in on going, man, this invigorates Ben a little bit more. This is awesome because at the end of the day, it's kind of fun. I mean, I've been having a little fun over the last 20
I hope
episodes
so.
now. It's completely outside of me. I'm a CFO. I'm not an introvert at all, but I definitely not the Mark guy that goes, let's go put my face and name everywhere and
Yeah,
things
me
like
either.
that.
And it's been a growing experience for me too.
But that's something you're going to see from us coming up here soon. Is you're going to see us out there more because we want to share. We had a marketing consultant come in and actually say, here's what you're doing. And that's why the last few episodes we've been talking about what else we really do. Here's the iceberg. There is so much more to your company than just getting somebody alone. And then we decided we want to share more of our story of why we do what we do, how we got started, because you got to get to know us. And because it's a relationship, I want to build a relationship with clients and with everybody on our team. And the only way to do it is pull back the onion and get to know us.
And we're people. We're both dads, and we both have our own work-life balance struggles and fitness goals and all that type of stuff too. So we're teaching you all about financing and all that side of the stuff. But we wanted to just share that we're people too. And here's a
Yeah,
little bit background on us.
yeah. And so if anybody's got any questions about us, wants to learn more about us,
Yeah,
I'm a Leo.
I'm a
um,
Taurus.
just so everybody knows, my birthday's coming up in August. So let's, just in case
We'll
anybody wants
plan
to
a
send a
happy birthday
gift.
episode.
But, please reach out if you want to get to know more about us, more about what we can provide for you. Follow us, DM us, as I always say. But yeah, we're here. We're human. We're real people, and we really care about you and our clients and our all the relationships we built over the years. And I'm looking forward to doing more in that regards.
Looking forward to it, guys. See you next week.